because Di has asked me for recording, so welcome Di, and I'll just set it so that I'm big on the screen, so she won't be seeing all of you, so don't worry about that. Right, so, and I think I'll just mute everybody just to make sure that the sound is okay. And I forgot to ask you all before I do that, is everybody okay this evening? No niggles or pains or injuries? No?
Just here.
Just the usual. Okay, so I'm just going to mute everyone and then we'll come to stand. So we're going to focus this week on easing out our backs, or easing into our backs, we could say. So whenever we do back bends, we tend to focus here on this lumbar region, and we think we're doing a really good back bend when we start doing this sort of thing. But that really pulls on those muscles, and unless you're really flexible in that area, this is when you can start to cause problems and, you know, have tightness in your back. So when we talk about back today, I want you to think about from here to the top. So more about the thoracic area. So as we're moving, really think about moving this area. So all of the moves I'm going to get you to do are focusing on that. And very often, when we've got this area quite stuck, which it is for most of us, it's quite stiff. We don't tend to focus on, you know, getting that flexible. It's this area that's causing the problem down in the lower area, in the lumbar region. So it's good just to focus on upper arm and upper back flexibility. So just standing straight into Tadasana, have your feet about hip distance apart, and just have a little rock back and forth, just feeling into your feet, just feeling that grounding of the soles of the feet. And just take a glance at the feet and spread the toes as wide as you can. And then have a look at the position of your feet. So they should be hip distance apart, but the outside edge of the feet should be parallel, not the inside. So we always think when we say feet parallel, we're working on the inside, but it's the outside. So when you do that, sometimes you feel as though you're turning your knees in a little bit, and it certainly activates these muscles here running up in towards the inner groins. So just draw your knees back so that, imagine that they were headlights on your knees and you're just drawing them back so that the knees are pointing forward. And then have some softness in the knees, so we're not locking them. And then release your shoulders. So let's have some softness in our upper back. And then we're going to take a deep breath in as we sweep our hands up and overhead. And as we breathe out, we're going to sweep them back and out to the side. So as we do this, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathing in, reaching the hands up. So we're reaching those arms out of our shoulders and not lifting the shoulders with the breath. And as we breathe out, send them back, just floating the hands out to the side, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're really starting to shift into that upper back. Remembering not to lock your knees back, so breathing in, breathing out. One more, breathing in and breathing out. And then release your hands. Have a little shrug of the shoulders. Just checking, yeah, sorry, did record. So a little shrug of the shoulders just to ease out. Then we're going to take ourselves down to the mat. So we want to do this in a nice, gentle way. So you can come down any way that's right for you, but a really good way is to just cross your legs around about the knees. So you can see your knees across here and plant your feet into the floor. Don't look down at your feet. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just start to bend the knees, float the hands out in front and sit down. That's it. Well done. So we can do it without locking ourselves down onto the mat. And then we're going to come into a comfortable seated position. So have a block if you need it, or sit, or just perch on a book. And we're just going to place our hands on our thighs just for a moment here. And then we'll do some seated cat-cows. So keeping your hands on your towards your knees, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, tuck the chin, send the back towards the back of the room, and just come into that cat position. So you're rounding through the spine, really working into the upper back. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, start to lift your chin, send your chest forward, bend your elbows, so draw the shoulder blades together. Cow pose. Just be careful with your neck. So we don't want to drop the neck back. We're just lifting the head and the chin. Breathe in and breathe out. Round in the back. Cat pose. Breathe in. Breathe out. Bend the chin and the chest forward. One more set. Breathe in. Breathe out. And really try and visualize that upper back here. Breathe in and breathe out. And then breathe in. Bring yourself back to an upright position. So if you're sitting cross-legged, change the cross of your feet. So change the way that it feels into your hips. And then take a breath in, float your hands up alongside your ears. And as you breathe out, bring the hands to the back of the head and interlace the fingers. So lift the head so that the neck is nice and long, and we're sending our elbows out wide. So you can feel your shoulder blades moving. So take a breath in, open those elbows as wide as you can, slide the shoulder blades. Imagine you're trying to drop your shoulder blades down into your back pockets. And then breathing out, bringing the elbows together. Breathe in to open. And breathe out to close. Thinking about or visualizing that movement of the shoulders, breathing in the shoulder blades and breathing out. Breathing in. Last time, breathing out. And then release. Release your hands to the sides of your legs. So sit comfortably here. I'm just going to do a little bit of work with the eyes and the neck. So first of all, rub your hands together and get some heat into your eyes, into your hands. So we're going to transfer that into our eye sockets in a moment. So this movement here, we're just going to do a little bit of waking up of the eye sockets. If you're wearing contact lenses, it's not a good idea to overdo them. Like when I tell you to look up and look down, just go gentle with the movements. It can be done, but just don't overdo it. So once you've got some heat, just cup your eyes with your hands. Just transfer that heat into the eye sockets. And then release your hands down onto your knees or onto your thighs. So take a breath in and look up. So as we look up, we're lifting our chin. So we're moving our head and neck at the same time as the eye movement. As you breathe out, you're tucking the chin down towards the chest. You're looking down. As you breathe in, lift your head and turn and look over your right shoulder. As you breathe out, turn the head and look over the left shoulder. Try and keep that nice straight upright spine. Breathe in, come back to center and breathe out. And then as you breathe in, look at something that's close to you. It could even be the tip of your nose. And as you breathe out, look at something in the distance. And then just taking a breath here, let everything settle. So now we're going to do all of that a second time, but we're not going to move our head. So the movement is all going to be in the eyes. So take a breath in, look up, breathe out, look down, breathe in, look right, breathe out, look left, breathe in, come back to center, breathe out. Breathe in, look at something close, maybe the tip of your nose. Breathe out, send that vision away. Look at something in the distance. And then just breathe. Just look wherever feels right. And then rubbing your hands once more. So we work the muscles in our eyes. We're just going to cup the hands once more and just give them a nice little bit of warmth as a thank you for all that movement that it just did. And then release your hands down towards your thighs. So come into a kneeling position. So if kneeling doesn't feel good for you, remember you've got the option to plot a block. So slot a block under your hips, between your hips and your heels. So this will help you to sit up straight and tall. It doesn't give such a tight bend on the knee and also the hips. So you decide. Otherwise, if kneeling feels fine for you, then we're going to take a breath in, float our hands up alongside our ears, drop the shoulder blades down. And as you breathe out, you're going to twist to the right and release the hands. So right hand comes behind you, left hand just resting on the right side of your thigh. Sitting up straight and tall. And then breathing in, releasing the hands, come back to center, keep reaching away through those fingertips. Breathing out, turning to the left, dropping the hands. Looking over the left shoulder. Breathing in, come back to center. We're going to do it again, a second time. So breathing in and reaching. And as you breathe out and twist and drop the hands, I want you to visualize what's happening with your right shoulder blade. can feel that shoulder blade really moving, it's trying to move towards the spine and down towards your feet. And then breathing in, reaching up, come back to center, breathe out over to the left, dropping the hands, visualizing the left shoulder blade this time. So it's good when you're doing an asana to really focus on the part of the body that asana should be targeting. Helps you to get more out of it. And then breathing in back to center and release your hands. So just having the hands alongside your body, I'll turn to face you. This time we can stay kneeling, or if this isn't comfortable, you can release your legs out in front. So take a breath in. And as you breathe out, walk your right fingertips away and reach the left arm up and over. So maybe you can release the right elbow towards the mat and really concentrate on keeping your hips in contact with the floor or your heels. And then breathing in, come back up. Release the hands, breathe out, breathe in, right hand comes up as the left fingertips walk away. Releasing that left elbow, if you can get that far, keeping your gaze forward and right hand, right arm is alongside your right ear. And then breathe in, come back to center. So it's always worth doing something like that twice, because the second time is always better. So take a breath in, walk the right fingertips out, reach the left arm up. Notice if it does feel a little bit easier. Lovely side stretch, getting into the back. And then breathing in, come back up. Release the hands, and as you breathe out, over to the left. Noticing this feels a little bit better. And then breathing in, come back to center. So from this kneeling position, we haven't quite finished here, and again, you can have your legs in front of you. If this is no good, then take a deep breath in, sitting up straight and tall. And as you breathe out, release your hands behind you, fingertips pointing forward, and just lean back into those hands, lifting the top of your chest. So we're going to do a little bit of camel practice at the end of this session, and this is a really good move to get us into it. So breathe in, bring yourself back up, and then as you breathe out, lean back into those hands, lift the chest. So it's only the chest that's lifting here. We're not lifting our hips and sending them forward. We're keeping the hips in contact with the heels, and we're lifting the chest. So we're starting to work into that thoracic area. And then release, breathing in. We'll do one more, breathing out, lifting the chest. And then release. And just round the spine, just easing any tension that might have been created there. So bring yourself into an all-fours position. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and toes are into the mat. And spread your fingers really wide on the mat. So you've got a really good connection here. We're going to do our usual cat-cow. So take a breath in. And as you breathe out, round the spine, drop the crown of the head, push that mat away, open the shoulder blades. Breathe in. Breathe out, tilting the pelvis, leading with the chin and the chest as you squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathing in and breathing out to move into our cat pose. Rounding the back, really press the mat away, drop the head. Breathe in, breathe out. Cow pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Cat pose. Breathe in, breathe out. Cow pose. Taking a breath in and returning to all fours. Just take a moment here. And then on your next inhalation, reach your right hand out, your left leg behind. And as you breathe out, draw your right elbow to your left knee, round in the spine. Breathing in, reaching, so there's a little bit of a balance. Still working on the back and breathing out, round in the spine. Breathing in, reaching. So this last time, as we draw the knee up towards our chest, help it closer and give your knee a kiss. And then release it. And if you can do it without helping it closer with the hands, then that's brilliant. So back to all fours. Take a breath in. Reach the left hand out, the right leg. Breathing out, round in the spine. Left elbow to right knee. Breathing in, reach. Breathing out. Left elbow to right knee. Breathing in, reach. And this time, bring that knee up. Oh, can you get there? Help it with the other hand. Give it a kiss. And then come back to our all fours position. So taking a breath in here, we're going to do some thread the needle. Float your right hand up to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, diving it through, the back of the hand slides behind the left hand, your right shoulder drops down to the mat and the right side of the face. Left elbow pointing up into the air. Breathing in, pressing into that left hand, reaching the right hand up. Breathing out, diving through. Keeping your hips pointing up to the ceiling. Breathing in, reaching. Breathing out, diving through. And just stay here for a breath. Everything settled. And then breathing in, bringing yourself back to all fours. So doing the same on the other side. Breathing in, left arm floats up. Breathing out, diving it through. Resting the left side of your face, your left shoulder, right elbow, bent, pointing to the ceiling. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, diving through. Breathing in, reaching. And breathing out, diving through. Just holding for one breath here. And then bringing yourself back up to all fours. And just sit back onto your hips or release your legs and just rotate through the wrists. Just ease out any tension that we held there. And then let your feet come out in front of you and bend your knees. So plant your feet on the floor about hip distance apart. Take your hands and take them behind your back. So like when we did the chest opener. So the hands are behind, fingertips pointing towards the backs of the hips. And start by squeezing the shoulder blades together. So really feel that movement and that strength in the upper back. And then take a breath in. And as you breathe out, just start to lift your hips just a little bit. Enough to be too far. And then release back down as you breathe in. So breathing out, lifting the hips, coming a little bit higher. So as you do it, your knees will move away from you. And then let's see if we can come up a bit higher this time. Reverse tabletop pose. And then release the hips. So we'll do one more and we'll hold. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your hips. Try and find that flat tabletop from your shoulders over your hips to your knees. And then release. Well done. Just round the spine, drop your head towards your knees and just take a moment here. It's quite strong, that stretch. It's so good for the back. And then bring yourself upright. Tuck your feet underneath you. Come back to an all fours position. So everyone still okay? Yeah, I can see you all. So from this all fours, we're going to come up and away from the mat. So take a breath in, toes are into the mat. As you breathe out, lift your knees and your hips and just walk your feet towards your hands. So keep a bend in your knees and just let your head drop towards the mat. And you can catch hold of your opposite elbows here. And just allow the head to drop towards the mat. So Jan, just be careful if this doesn't feel right with your blood pressure, then slowly come up. Everyone else, if we're okay, then take a breath in and slide your hands to your shins. Find a half forward fold. So a nice flat back here, from the top of the head, the crown of the head, through the neck, to the spine and the hips. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, float your hands behind you, interlace the fingers and send the hands away. See if you can draw your elbows in towards each other. That will change the movement into your shoulders. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly release the hands and slowly bring yourself up. Standing in Tadasana. Well done. So let's just let the blood pressure settle. And then taking a breath in, hands go out wide, reach up and overhead. And as you breathe out, draw the hands all the way down the mat, down to the mat, plant the hands. And then step the feet back into downward facing dog. So it's our first one, so let's have a little walk through the feet. Easing the heels down towards the mat, bending one knee and then the other. And then release both heels towards the mat. Downward facing dog. Just taking a breath here. And then with your next inhalation, plant the left foot into the mat and float your right leg up as you breathe out. Three-legged dog. Breathing in, draw the right knee up towards your chest, come up onto your left toes, step the right foot forward and through, or help it through if you need to. So we're going to come up into warrior one. So drop your back heel down onto the mat. So that's in a 45-degree angle. And then really focus on engaging your right thigh, your right hip as you breathe in, pushing into the mat and releasing the hands up and overhead. Take a breath here. The gaze is forward. Breathing in. As you breathe out, sweep the hands alongside your body and send your chest towards your thigh. Superman, superwoman. Breathing in, release the hands to alongside your foot, realign the back leg and step the right leg back into plank. So we're not staying here long, just take a breath here in plank. And then as you breathe out, drop your knees, release the tops of your feet and release your hips to the mat as you bend your elbows. Slide your hands forward. So your elbows are under your shoulders, your gaze is forward, you're in Sphinx pose. So when you're in this pose, think about each time you breathe out, probably, yeah, out. Think about the tummy drawing up and away from the mat. And imagine that you're zipping up from the belly button up to under your chin. So that will help you to visualize lifting the chest and bringing the shoulder blades down. And if this feels too much on the lower back, then just move your elbows a little bit further forward so they're not under the shoulders, and that will ease that bend. Otherwise, just taking a breath here. So good to get some flexibility into our upper backs. And then breathing in, lift your hips, walk your hands back, take your knees wide, toes together. At last, I give you a child's pose. But drop your head down to the mat. Just reaching the hands forward along the mat. Still getting that lovely stretch through the shoulders and the arms. And then breathing in as you bring yourself back up to all fours. Ready to go again. So taking a breath in, toes into the mat. As you breathe out, lift your hips and come to downward facing dog. So just reposition your hands and your feet. Your ears are in line with your inner arms, just dropping the crown of the head towards the mat, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. And then breathing in, send the sole of the right foot to the mat. As you breathe out, the left leg floats up. Three-legged dog. Breathing in, bending the left knee, drawing it up towards your chest, round the spine. Breathe out, step it forward and through. And then drop the right heel so that your right foot is at a 45-degree angle. Engage that left, even left hip. I can't say the words now. Left hip, left thigh. Breathing in. Float the hands up and breathe out as you come to warrior one. Gazing forward, keep your hips pointing forward. Breathe in and breathe out as you drop the hands alongside the body, send the chest forward. Superman, Superwoman. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands to the mat. Realign that back foot and release the left leg back into plank. Just for one breath. Breathe in, breathe out, drop your knees to the mat. So we're going to try something different here. So as you breathe in, breathe out, lower your hips to the mat, keep the elbows bent and slide the shoulder blades together as you come into low cobra. Just lifting the chest, gazing forward. And don't forget to breathe. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Breathing in, lifting your hips and sinking back into child's pose. This time keep your knees pointing forward. Just a slight variation. You reach your hands forward along the mat. And then breathing in, come back to an all fours position. So lift yourself up and away from the mat. So we're in a high kneel. Just check that your knees feel okay here, that you don't need any extra padding. If you do, then just grab a blanket or something under your lower legs. And then just take your hands to the backs of your hips here. So your thumbs are supporting your lower back. The thumbs are coming together and the hands are just wrapping around your waist. And then send the elbows back. So try and draw them together. And then take a breath in. And as you breathe out, engage your tummy muscles and just gently start to lean. So when we do this, excuse me, this lean into camel, we're not doing this. It's not our thighs that are doing the work. It's very much the upper back. So by having your hands here, you're giving your lower back a little bit of support, and you want to keep your hips over your knees. So your upper leg should be perpendicular to the floor. And then bring yourself back up. So just notice how that feels. Protect lower back. You can even take the palms of your hands to the area where your kidneys are, just below your rib cage here, and press into that area. And that helps you to open the chest as well. So this is just starting to get us into camel. And then come back upright. So that's stage one, if you like. So now take your toes so that they come into the mat. And so your heels are coming a little bit closer. And if the heels still feel a little bit too far away, you can get the block and you can balance a block on the heel. So you're bringing things a bit closer to you. So you decide what you want to do and then relax the shoulders, keep this upright spine, keeping our hips above our knees, taking a breath in, float your right hand up alongside your right ear, and you're going to bring your thumb and your first finger together. So you're just pinching them at the tip, and the other three fingers, they join. So it's a little bit like the A-OK sign. So just reaching the hands up. This is Chin Mudra. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, just start to release the back. And then the left hand will come towards your left heel. It's half camel. Remember to keep the thighs pointing forward. Don't overdo the back bend. Brilliant. Bring yourself back upright as you breathe in. Release that right hand. That's it. Just checking you all. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So toes into the mat. Keeping our hips above our knees. Taking a breath in. Float the left hand up. Find Chin Mudra. So pinch the thumb and the first finger together, and then the other fingers are all joining. And then take a breath in, and as you breathe out, start to lean back the upper back. And the right hand comes towards your heel. Brilliant. Your gaze is to your hand in the air. And then bring yourself back up. So that's like a stage 2. So stage 3, another good way of doing this is to go to something that's solid, like I've got my mirror here, or a wall, and we're going to go up towards it. So you might want to put some extra padding under your knees. I'll just show you what we're doing. So I've gone right up close to the wall. My thighs are touching the wall, and they're going to be glued to the wall. I'm not going to move them. And then I come up onto my toes to make it a bit easier for me. Take a breath in, and as I breathe out, I reach my hands back. So you can see the movement is all in the upper body, not the lower legs. They're staying glued to the wall or whatever it is that you're using. So just give that a go. It feels quite different. Brilliant. Remember to breathe when you're there. Hold your breath. And once you breathe in, ease off. And then as you breathe out, you might want to give it another go. That's it, Philippa. So push the lower legs towards the wall. And then maybe the hands will come back. And remember, you've got the option to have a block on the feet. Oh, brilliant, you're there. Fabulous. So come back upright. So we've done all the different stages. We know exactly what we need to do to get into camel. So we're going to see if we can try a full camel. So come back to this kneeling position. Toes into the mat. Take your hands behind you and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a breath in. Remember, we're keeping the lower legs perpendicular, and we gently lean back and catch a hold of our heels. So be careful with your neck here as well. Keep the chin not completely tucked, but towards your chest. Don't let your head drop back. And when you breathe in, you can ease off. So you can try it again. Or if you want a bit more of a challenge, drop the tops of your feet to the mat and breathe in and breathe out, catching hold of the feet, but keeping the thighs pointing forward. And then breathing in, coming back up. Well done. So just release into an all fours position. And a really good counter pose is cat-cow. So put your toes into the mat, taking a breath in, breathing out, coming up into cat, just gently does it. Breathe in, breathe out, cow pose. And just notice if your back feels much more flexible, is this movement more fluid? So just breathing into your cat-cow. Well done. And then releasing your knees and your feet forward. You're going to come into a seated position, but take your left heel, so bend the left knee. Left heel comes towards your right hip and your right knee. So maybe your left knee will drop down to the mat. If it doesn't, use a block, have a block under there. And then draw the heel of your right foot towards the top of your left foot. So this knee is quite close to the body. And sit up straight and tall. And then take a breath in as you reach this left hand forward and draw the left elbow and cup the right knee. So breathing in and breathing out, sweep the right hand all the way behind you. Place the right hand quite tight to your back. Use the arm like a prop as you look over your shoulder. So it's helping to keep that upright position. And then breathing in and releasing. Release the right hand, release the right leg, and then the left leg. Just send them out in front of you. Have a little tap down with the backs of the legs and the thighs. And then bend both knees, and this time right heel goes to left hip. Left foot, just draw it in so the left heel is touching the top of the right foot, and sit up straight and tall. And then breathe in this right hand in front of you, cupping the left knee with the right elbow. Breathe in, breathe out, float the left hand all the way behind you and prop it against your back, looking over your left shoulder. There's just a little bit of a twist, helping you to get into the upper back as you look over that shoulder. And then breathing in as you release your hand, return to center, release both legs. Have a little tap down once more. And then we're going to come down to the mat in semi-supine. So lying on the mat, bending your knees, plant your feet on the floor, and take your feet so that they're as wide as the mat. the knees pointing up. Take your hands out in a T shape, palms facing down. So keeping your shoulders in contact with the mat and allowing your lower back to rest down into the mat. And then take a breath in. And as you breathe out, drop both knees over to the right, like a windscreen wiper effect. So your right knee will go to the mat, your left knee tries to come to the sole of your right foot. Breathing in, bringing the knees back up, and breathing out, dropping them to the left. So you can add in a twist with the neck if you want to. So as you drop your knees to the left, your head turns to the right. Breathing in, head to center, knees to center, breathing out, knees to the right, head to the left. So just do this a few times with your breath. No hurry. It's whatever your breathing pattern is. Just breathing and twisting. And the next time you come to the left, make it your last one. So your knees to the left, head to the right. And then come back to center, knees to center, head to center. And just draw your knees up and over your chest. And just hug them in, nice and tight. Coming into Apanasana. And a little roll on the mat feels good, just massaging your back from left to right. And then release your legs, send them out along the mat. And we're going to come into our Shavasana. So if you want to grab any layers or blankets, now is the time. We'll just have a few moments of relaxation. Just lying out on the mat. Having your feet slightly wider than hip distance apart. Let your toes drop out to the side. Have your hands alongside your body in a gentle V, palms facing up. Let your thumbs drop out to the side. Just gently rock your head from side to side, easing out any tension. And returning your head to center. Breathing nice and deep in through your nose and out through your nose. Take a few breaths in Ujjayi breath. So as you breathe in, just feel that restriction in the back of the throat. And breathing out, doing the same. Channel your Darth Vader with this breathing noise. As you visualize the waves of the sea in line with your breath, breathing in Imagine you're drawing a wave all the way up your body from your toes, along your shins, your upper legs, your chest, all the way to the top of your head. And as you breathe out, just feel that wave withdrawing over your face, your shoulders, your neck, your chest, your hips, and your legs, all the way to your toes. And with each exhalation, that breath takes away any tension. So Ujjayi breath is also known as ocean breath. Just from the sound it makes. Visualizing the breath coming up and over the body. Breathing out, taking away all that tension. Feeling your body sink a little deeper into the mat. And then you can let go of your Ujjayi breath and just breathe normally. In and out. Releasing the tension. Just letting go. Releasing your face, your jaw, your neck and your shoulders, your arms and your fingertips, your hands, your chest and your back body. Just feel that back resting down into the mat. Allowing yourself to sink a little deeper. Releasing your hips, your thighs and your knees, your lower legs, your ankles, your feet and your toes. Just allow yourself a few moments of silence. Start to bring some awareness back to your body now. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. With your next inhalation, float your hands up and overhead and do a full body stretch. Point from your fingertips to your toes. And as you breathe out, just bend your elbows, let your hands rest on the floor. Breathing in, bending your knees. Planting your feet on the floor. Breathing out and rolling onto your right hand side. And just hug your knees up a little closer to your chest. Give yourself a push. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself back to a seated position. So hopefully everybody feels good. Maybe a little bit more released in the upper back area. So we'll just finish with our 3 breaths together. So sit up straight and tall, fingertips to the mat. Taking a breath in, reaching up and overhead. Breathing out, hands to the heart center. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.